Hello everyone, hi guys, Flattmeister here. Oh, this was glorious, this was. I first heard about this from, I think it was The Quartering, who did Jeremy at Unsleeved Media, did a video on this about the whole clusterfuck that is Guild Wars 2, and about just 24, I'm recording this, 25 minutes ago, this guy called, I don't even know how you pronounce his name, his Twitter handle, LaRockQuad, cool guy, but basically he linked to this One Angry Gamer article that sums up all of these, it just shows how incestuous the game journalist industry is, right? So anyway, LaQuad says, this is a great detailed rundown of the whole Guild Wars 2 clusterfuck, with a focus on how the usual suspects in the press covered it, unethically. Very interesting observation at the end about how Google ranks fake news higher. And obviously, do you want to know who the usual suspects are? BuzzFeed, Kotaku, The Verge, Rock Paper Shotgun, and Polygon as well, which is not mentioned in the tweet, but let's have a look at the article, right? Well, I couldn't believe this, right? So anyway, just to give a summary of what happened with a developer. Well, it was two developers actually. One is Jessica Price, who's a narrative designer for ArenaNet, working on Guild Wars 2, and also Peter Fries, who's like a writer, and both of them have been fired for being very rude, aggressive, antagonistic. Help me come up with some more adjectives. They were being just very aggressive, unprofessional towards attacking the fan base, attacking the community, attacking the consumer, the people that pay for the game, and they will be, won't they?
Hey, what up, Mike? Let me ask you all a question. What do you call two niggas fucking niggas?
But it all started off with Jessica Price, right? With this, the game, and all these game sites are wording it, oh, she fires back, like Kotaku going, Guild Wars 2 writers fired for calling out fan on Twitter, and saying, and they spin this narrative that, ooh, it was erupted into a mob. I'm like, no, it wasn't a mob. So anyway, this one fan of Guild Wars 2, and I think he's a YouTuber and partnered or affiliated streamer with Guild Wars 2 and ArenaNet. So this guy called Dura, it looked like it said Denoir, and I'm having a bit of a moment there. Dura, he spoke up saying that he disagreed slightly, and it's just so funny how Kotaku was Nathan Grayson, of course, one of the most unprofessional game journalists out there. How they spin it, right? Kotaku gotten rid of the screenshotted tweets. They have. When I previously looked at this article, at least Polygon have kept it in, and even then, like Polygon trying to they say that Jessica Price had written a lengthy Twitter thread about the differences between writing characters for linear narrative driven games like Bioshock or Dishonored and player characters in MMOs like the Guild Wars games. This YouTuber Dera chimed in to disagree, and Price later called the player out. Still, even with like the way you worded that, Polygon, and they've included the tweet, right? So oh, you have to bloody jump through hoops to... So anyway, he, in response, says, oh, this is a really interesting thread to read. However, allow me to disagree slightly. I don't believe the issue lies in the MMORPG genre itself, as your wording seemingly suggests. I believe the issue lies in the constraints of the living story's narrative design. And that's one of three of his responses, right? He goes, when you want the outcome to be the same across the board for all players' experiences, then yes, by design, you're extremely limited in how you can construct the personality of the playable character. But if instead players were given the option to meaningfully express their character through branching dialogue options, which also aren't just on the checklist for an achievement that forces you through all dialogue options, 3 or 4, jeez, because I count seemingly, then perhaps players would be more invested in the role-playing aspect of that particular MMORPG. Nonetheless, I appreciate the insightful thread. And so yeah, that's how he responded to her, just giving some. It was a back and forth dialogue, which you'd expect. It's his Twitter. It's a public forum, and it's great that a fan who's passionate about your product is giving some feedback about how ways that they feel that the game could be improved, or just giving their opinion on something. But no, Jessica Price, she instead she quote tweets that whole thread by Dara, his response to her, and she goes, "Today, in being a female game dev, allow me, a person who does not work with you, explain to you how to do your job." Do you notice anything there? Yeah. Yeah. Let me just highlight that for you. Yeah. She brings in the gender card. Female game dev. No. What? No, it's not it's not an attack on your gender. He was giving constructive criticism, and that obviously pissed a lot of people off. They're like, fuck you. And then so along came Peter Fries, who deleted his tweets, but they've been archived. He came to her defense and argued that Twitter accounts were private and that she never asked for his feedback. Because there was another creator called Inks, I think, and she basically tells him, "Get out of my fucking feed with your entitlement. You can fuck right off," she said. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, and this Inks guy responded like, "I've just been polite and nice to you. I've been cordial. Why are you attacking me?" And loads of other people are saying, "Why are you attacking these people?" That like we're giving. She goes, "Oh, you don't feel that you're entitled to my time. Get out of my mentions. Get off my feed." I'm like, it's Twitter. It's a. She's got in her before she was fired. They had on their Twitter account, their bio, it says, "I work for Guild Wars 2. I work for ArenaNet. I'm a writer on Guild Wars 2. So anyway, it came to the Mike O'Brien, the CEO, responded and released a statement saying, "Recently, 2 employees of ours, they failed to uphold our standards of communicating with players in a respectful way. Their attacks on the community are unacceptable, and as a result, no longer working with the company." And again, with the statement, he's saying, "Want to be clear, their views do not reflect the views of ArenaNet at all. We, as a company, we strive, the typical spiel, like, oh, we strive to have a collaborative relationship with Guild Wars community. We value your input. We make this game for you." That's what a lot of game developers have to remember. Yeah, you're providing, you're making an art form, but you're also making a product. You want to make a profit at the end of the day from your hard work. But a lot of these, the sort of the SJW creators, they can't help but they want to hammer in their own politics into the game rather than creating something. They want it to just be propaganda. But Kotaku and Polygon are saying that Reddit and things are being all sexually harassing. I mean, she's thrown away Peter Fries and Jessica Price they worked in for like a decade. She goes adding that she'd been working in narrative for a decade and she didn't need the concept of branching dialogue explained to her. Yeah, that's it, because Peter Fries, I think he used the word mansplaining. "Oh, let me mansplain to you how to do your job." I'm like, oh god, you're bringing gender into it. I'm like, Kotaku going, Price told Kotaku in an email, "A straw that broke the camel's back moment. By the time that guy came along, I was so tired of having random people explain my job to me in company spaces where I had to just smile and nod that it was like, no, not here, not in my space. It's a fucking public forum." I like that Kotaku only reaches out to Price and not to Inks or the YouTuber Dara. to get their side of the story. This just shows how Nathan Grayson is probably shacking up with Jessica Price. You're in some positive coverage for your game. The people weren't explaining to you, Jessica Price, how to do your job. They were just simply engaging in very cordial, respectful dialogue. I know I've said this before. I may come across as the stereotypical angry gamer, the sort of ranting and raving, but when online, I don't engage in harassment. I don't target people. I wouldn't feel the need to at you in a tweet, Jessica Price. And the same, like, encourage other people to not go seeking out this person. I'm condemning any harassment. Why go out of the way and trying to contact people? There's no, if they're just going to be like that. Don't give them the ammo. I can't remember who fucking said it. Who was it that said the saying, "Don't interrupt your enemies when they're making a mistake," because they let them continue and people will see just how idiotic they are. But this makes me, with the straw that broke the camel's back, it makes me wonder whether, because people going, "Oh my god, being fired for just saying this," it makes me wonder whether she's been she's had disciplinary, like, people going, "Ooh, why didn't she have a disciplinary?" I'm like, yeah, that stuff does happen in the background. That stuff happens in the background, away from the public. Same with any other profession. People stay professional towards the customer or clients and people that come to you. If you had a plumber come round and you started explaining something about the pipes, he's not going to go, "Fuck off, I know how to do that, fix a pipe and shit, fuck off, man." Like, whoa, get the fuck out of my house, man. I was just talking to you about pipes. But it makes me wonder whether it really does make me wonder whether they were on their final warning, so to speak, because apparently Jessica Price also celebrated Total Biscuit when he passed. Within hours, he's like, "Oh yes, I celebrate. I can't say that I will miss him." You fucking got to be awful to celebrate someone's death. It really makes me wonder whether they've been in trouble before, and I bet all the people that work alongside them are glad they've gone now. They're like, "Oh, thank fuck that Jessica Price and Peter Fries have gone, because they made this office space fucking hell." But what do you mean by, like, "Oh, you've been entitled to my time"? I'm like, Twitter is a public forum. You don't have to respond. Just don't respond. You don't even have to block. Oh yeah, that's another thing. She threatened to, "Anyone else that comes in my feed with criticism or feedback will get insta-blocked immediately." Like Kotaku going, all the while people rained down insults on Price, accusing her of being a SJW screaming child. Yeah, she was being a petulant child. Playing the vagina card and other nastiness of the like. She did pull the gender card. She went, "Oh, because I'm a female developer." The mob also went after Peter Fries. Like, Kotaku, you are so... And like, even the people in the comments aren't having any of it either. The same on the Polygon article. People are not having any of it. They're like, why are you rewriting reality? Like, are you serious? Like, top comment, "Seriously, Kotaku, this is a terrible article. As a female myself, I found her rude and unnecessarily aggressive. She gave an opinion on a public forum. Someone disagreed and politely stated why, very much opening the floor for an engaging dialogue." Exactly. Price then acted like a petulant child because someone disagreed with her opinion and ripped out the gender card as a defence. They're not telling her how to do her job or talking down to her as some sort of inferior female dev. It was simply a difference of opinion. If Price has been attacked with these issues before, then she should be fully aware that this was not one of those instances. Her reply was a gross overreaction. This sort of bullshit completely undermines any real discrimination in the industry. Now Price is waving the victim flag, which you oddly seem to be championing. Exactly. Kotaku and Polygon, and Rock Paper Shotgun, and BuzzFeed, shame on you. Kotaku and Polygon were saying like, oh, on the subreddit, Guild Wars subreddit, people were celebrating that she'd been fired, or that they were calling for her to be fired, and then when she was eventually fired. So all of these incestuous news outlets basically have a problem that they're accusing ArenaNet of bowing down to the pressure from the fans and the community to fire her, which I don't think is the case. They're not firing her because they were demanding that she be fired. I think that she has been on the shit list for quite some time now, and this is basically, this is the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, and that's straight from Katie Price. Jessica Price. Who the fuck is Katie Price? And that's some kind of model or something. Jessica Price. So Jessica Price even said, the straw that broke the camel's back. Again, like Kotaku and Polygon trying to rewrite reality. I can't believe that even with Polygon providing a screenshot of her tweet in which it shows her today being a female game dev, and with her quote tweeting that Dara guy who has a very reasonable, thought out response, which was about 3 or 4 tweets. He even responds back the next day. You getting mad at my obvious attempt at creating dialogue and discussion with you instead of just replying that I am wrong or otherwise correct me in my false assumptions is really just disheartening for me. You do you though. I'm sorry if it offended. I'll leave you to it. And what the fuck is with this person? Zach going, I agree with her though. She didn't ask for your opinion and you came to her personal Twitter to unnecessarily dump your opinion onto her and tell her how her job should be done. Do I go to your Twitter and tell you how to correctly make YouTube videos? Well, Zach, or it's your you can do that. You can go to Dara's Twitter, personal Twitter, at Dora Gaming. Give that guy a follow on his YouTube and Twitch. Go to his Twitter and tell him how to make YouTube videos. Hell, I encourage people to do the same to me. Come to my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell me how you would like me to correctly make YouTube videos. Well, I have had comments in the past telling me, "Oh, you need to fix your audio." I'm like, well, I listened to the part that you mentioned, and sound is fine. But yeah, I do encourage people to tell me how to correctly make YouTube videos. Like, I really don't get that. Come to my personal Twitter to unnecessarily dump your opinions on it. It's really disheartening. If one of your a creator that you enjoy their work, you're passionate about the world that's been built and the lore and the characters and the situations and storylines and such, and you've got the opportunity to interact with one of the creators of a game that you enjoy, and for you to go, let me just a little dialogue back and forth, and then for them to go, fuck off, I don't want your opinion. If I did, I'd send you a fucking crow and write a letter, attach it to its leg, I don't know. So just fuck off, you white cisgendered male. But that is really disheartening. So here, back on the One Angry Gamer article, basically saying it was Polygon, Kotaku, BuzzFeed, The Verge, Rock Paper Shotgun, all basically misreporting this firing of this Jessica Price and Peter Fries. But the fact that she made a public thread about the troubles of narrative design in MMOs, she's got, obviously will have a big following. People are going to want to engage in conversation with her about. Perhaps Dara could possibly be an amateur writer, for instance. She doesn't know that. Like, he might be an aspiring writer for games. Only for, yeah, and to have a professional, and I use that term lightly, professional, for them to go, oh yeah, fuck off, I don't want your opinion. I really want to get Dara's side of the story. So I might actually reach out to him, see if he's actually willing to come on, do a live stream, hang out, do like a little interview just to get his side of the story. Because all these sites like Polygon, Kotaku, they emailed Jessica Price because she presumably shares their political leanings. I'm so progressive and woke. Yeah, go woke, get broke. But obviously with ArenaNet, they've fired them. Because people would complain, oh, you didn't stand by your developer. I'm like, yeah, she fucking harassed and antagonised fans. She attacked the fans. I can't believe Nathan Grayson framed the situation, writing it in response. A fan and YouTuber said he appreciated the insightful thread. He disagreed with her assessment on the situation. Price felt like Dara overstepped his bounds. Kotaku purposefully, on a good gamer, good on you, Billy D. Kotaku purposefully leaves out Price's charged tweets like the ones below. So at least Polygon basically ruins their own narrative they're trying to spin by including the tweet, whereas Kotaku didn't, and presumably a lot of those other sites like BuzzFeed, The Verge, Rock Paper Shotgun. But here's another tweet, right, in which he goes, like the next rando arsehat who attempts to explain the concept of branching dialogue to me, as if, having worked in game narrative for a fucking decade, I have never heard of it, is getting insta-blocked. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. And this guy inks. He goes, I certainly wasn't trying to imply that it didn't happen. Your reaction in that first tweet, without further context, came across that their criticism, Dara's criticism, because they are an amateur, their words meant less. I would have responded the same regardless of sex or gender. Oh, because she brought up, oh, because I'm a female game dev. And she goes, sure dude, now get out of my fucking feed with your assumptions and your entitlement to my time. That's really antagonistic and that's really unprofessional. I mean, here, BuzzFeed, bringing up Gamergate, approaching the situation in the same manner, painting her as a victim, neglected to include the insults she hurled at the Guild Wars community. Instead, BuzzFeed writer Rachel Krishna quotes others who defended Price, writing, much of the criticism of Price has been compared to that received by women involved in Gamergate. Many of those who sided with Price called for a boycott of the game series. You don't buy shit anyway. You wouldn't have bought the game anyway. It's been proven these SJWs do not buy games, even with made by woke game developers. Like many supporters of Price and Fries, Tanya DePass from I Need Diverse Games said she felt the behaviour of ArenaNet was symptomatic of some bigger issues in the gaming industry. No, any business, if an employee or even the employer attacks their customers or clients and acts in a very unprofessional manner, you're going to get a disciplinary. And depending on the seriousness of the I was going to say crime then, but depending on the seriousness of the incident, you're going to get a worse disciplinary. You get a verbal, you get your written warnings. The game industry has learned nothing from letting the fans drive interactions and letting them do and say as they want because they paid $60 and up for a game. This consumer is always right mentality isn't okay, and it will hurt the industry. Sorry, being rude and unprofessional to the consumers has got nothing to do with the consumer is always right. Whatever happened to just being respectful to your fans and the community and your customers? It's got nothing to do with, oh, we got a problem with women's. And again, there's one angry gamer said there was never been any cited evidence that Gamergate ever targeted developers or women in particular. Or they were even claiming that Gamergate has driven women out of female devs out of game development. And like even in the Polygon comment section, I remember reading a little back and fro. Someone was saying, so can you provide me any evidence of any instances of any female game developers being forced out of the industry by Gamergate or by anyone? You know, and both Women Action Media and the FBI report were unable to find any actionable evidence to conclude that Gamergate was ever a harassment campaign. The BuzzFeed headline also states that people are uninstalling this game after it fired a woman developer. You left that in, but completely leaves out the factual data from Steam charts that shows that over the last 30 days there's been an uptick in players and an even bigger show of support over the last 7 days. I mean, here's even more tweets. BuzzFeed also opted not to include Price's tweets, where she made it known that anyone who disagreed with her was getting blocked, and that she didn't care about the feelings of people she was interacting with negatively. Oh my god. And again, like one angry gamer pointing out that one of the top comments on the BuzzFeed article calls them out for misrepresenting the story and providing misleading details to frame their narrative. Like the comment, misleading article, she brought gender into the discussion. There was nothing disrespectful or mansplaining from the original comment. Rock Paper Shotgun's Graham Smith make his biases known in the first paragraph. ArenaNet fired 2 Guild Wars 2 writers for tweets they made this past week. In doing so, they've thrown their lot in with players and harassers who make unreasonable demands of game devs. Good work, ArenaNet. Oh my god. I'm not going to read the entire article, but Billy D has detailed a lot of screenshots of like Reddit and sort of other outlets as well. Well, I'm going to end up repeating myself, sort of just reading it out. But yeah, like I said, it really makes me, like people saying, oh, this is a less fireable offence. People don't know whether she's had several disciplinaries and warnings for however she acts in the workplace. Verge sides with Price, giving her a platform to snidely take shots at ArenaNet CEO Mike O'Brien, where she told the outlet, he fired me personally, and the meeting was mostly him venting his feelings at me. I understand him being afraid when you see the Reddit mob coming for you, and if people with less power can weather it, and we do regularly, so can he. No, you got fired because you can't be professional. And like all of these articles seem to be pushed on the forefront of Google. Like here he goes, what's worse is that with the exception of a few sites like Niche Gamer, follow them, good site, Google seems to be putting many of the websites with the most blatant factual misinformation front and center on the carousel and the G News coverage page, blatantly pushing fake news into the news stream. What's more is that none of the website defending Price have even mentioned her history of engaging with the community in an almost constant tone of aggression, as evidenced with her Twitter diatribe on Infinity War, and the backlash directed to anyone who disagreed with her assessment, and also with her insensitive comments about Total Biscuit passing. Hey, another one bites the dust. Imagine my shock. It's, yep. Go woke, you get broke. Anyway, I'd like to hear what you guys think of this. Do you think it was harsh of Jessica Price to be fired from her job that she's been working in for over a decade and Peter Fries as well for again being antagonistic towards the community. So yeah, do you think it was too much, or do you reckon it was right for them to be fired? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to do all that, subscribe and like, smashing the like button, the bell for notification, which is so stupid, but yeah, ring that bell to get notified of when I do upload. I'm going to try and upload a lot more regularly. Also, Wednesdays 11 PM GMT, we also do the Flat Pack show. So sort of about an hour and a half podcast, topical, is evergreen, you know, like the topics don't age, you know, we talk about a sort of one set topic. So we do that with my co-hosts Switchpoint, Nerd Waffle and Crumple Point. Follow those guys on Twitter and their YouTube channels as well. Subscribe to them. And so yeah, I'm Flattmeister. I'll catch you in the next video. See ya. Toasty.